Hello there and welcome to Athens Off the Record, a podcast brought to you by our friends here at Visit Athens, Georgia. I'm your host, Cameron J., and I'm so excited to be back with all of you and to have a very special guest as we continue to explore the movers, makers, music, and shakers of the classic city. And today we have a very special friend of mine. Elliot Williamson is the very first Executive Director of the organization Athens Pride and Queer Collective, dedicated to advancing and supporting our local LGBTQ community. So Elliot, first of all, welcome to Athens Off the Record.
Thank you so much, Cameron. I'm very happy to be here. Also, we have another Athens Pride and Queer Collective celebrity with us. Cameron is a past president of APQC, so I'm very happy to spend some time with you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, it was a great 6 years, and I'm excited to see you carrying the torch on and forward. So, Elliot, before we dive into talking about APQC and all the amazing work that you all do, both in the downtown area but across the county, tell us a little bit about what it was like to grow up in Athens, Clark County. I know you are a native, born and raised, so tell us about what it was like.
I have absolutely loved being brought up in Athens, Georgia. I think it is the perfect place for young families, young people to really just be brought up, because it's a place where the college just brings so much energy and so much life that even when you're a young person that might not be able to participate in everything that the college students do, the energy that is here just really permeates through, like, all the way through the young people. Yeah. So our family moved here when I was 3 years old. My mother went to UGA. My father got his master's at UGA. My twin brother and I also went to UGA.
Shout out to Logan.
Shout out to Logan. He's currently not in the United States, but we miss him, and I'm glad that he's getting a little bit of kudos on this interview. But I was a Barrow Buddy. I went to Athens Academy. I participated at the Boys and Girls Club all throughout high school. So I also think that because our city is kind of like the perfect size, I was really able to see every single corner of the city, get really familiar with it. And because of that, because I was brought up here, when I was in university, after university, when I'm walking down the streets, I see someone that I know every single day, multiple
It's hard to go
times
somewhere and not run into someone that knows your name.
It's really difficult, but it's such a blessing. Like old teachers, old parents, it's just incredible to really know that, like, my family here in Athens is just so broad and extensive, and that if I need support, I could walk out on the street and I could find someone that could help me out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're glad you're here and continue to stay here. What made you choose Athens as your home as an adult?
I think that it was really, I've always loved this place, and it's always been my home. I do think that there was times in the past where I know that my city is so amazing, but going away for a little bit, traveling.
Because you studied abroad some too, right?
I did. When I was in university, I got this scholarship that helped me pay for lots of different travel abroad. I went and lived in South America for 6 months. I went and studied at Oxford University for a little bit. And also, after college, I went and I lived in Atlanta for a brief period of time, and being able to see all of these different places, every single place has its charm. Santiago, Chile is it's a second home of mine. Atlanta really does have great things about it, but I just don't think that there's anything that you can beat about Athens. Again, it being kind of the perfect size really allows you to participate with our community so much more readily. If you are volunteering, if you're engaging with the community, you're engaging with everyone in our city. It's not like you're engaging with Peachtree City or Decatur. Like, everyone in Athens is here and is ready to be involved. So I think that's one thing that I've really enjoyed. And I also think that we're the perfect size that what you contribute into our community has actual tangible effects on our local community.
Very true. Speaking of, let's talk a little bit about this intersection you and I have with the work and role you have at Athens Pride and Queer Collective, which, for people who might not know, the organization was actually founded back in the 90s, that long ago, and is still thriving today. So, Elliot, you are the very first. I was just a volunteer, president of a board, but you were the very first hire of the organization as the executive director Tell us a little bit about what led you to this role and what it means for the community.
So, a little bit of background about myself. I have been involved, as I've talked about, a lot of the work that I've done in Athens ever since I was a little kid has really been in like participating in my community and really giving back.
Yeah.
Whether that was tutoring at Boys and Girls Club, whether that was teaching hundreds of students at UGA how to knit. Whether
Yeah, you started a club there?
I did.
Right?
I didn't start it,
Okay.
but my best friend and I, through COVID, it dwindled down to about 3 people.
Oh, wow.
And then by the time that we graduated, it was closer to like 600-700 people.
Whoa.
So we too.
That's awesome.
I'm not gonna say we did not found it, but we definitely did a great job of revitalizing it and we're like bringing it to the masses. But I think that because of I've always been just so community focused, really loved being involved in my community, that especially when I came out, which was in high school, but after when COVID happened and the world finally opened back up, I was really ready to find my community, get more involved, be able to be in community with other queer people, and Athens Pride and Queer Collective has been a great home to be able to do that.
Yeah.
I've known many of the board members, and
Your mother even has served on the board.
my mother even has
Yes.
served on the board. It's the amount of friends that I have that are on the board is just incredible. But I've been going to the Pride Parade ever since it moved downtown in 2022, which is one of the accomplishments of Cameron. I've been going to the Pride Fest. I was actively participating when the Rainbow Crosswalks were instituted in downtown. So I've just really seen what impact they've had on Athens and being able to celebrate queer people in our community. And so when I had the chance when I heard that they were hiring the very first employee, I was just really excited to use my skills. I come with more of a business background, but being able to use my skills to help a nonprofit really like build that framework where not only they can really survive, but they can thrive and have as large of an impact on our community as we possibly can.
Yeah, well, tell us a little bit, in your words, Elliot, what is Athens Pride and Queer Collective?
So, not to give a droll answer or anything like that, but Athens Pride and Queer Collective, we're here to do multiple different things to really make sure that we are advancing the health and the well-being of LGBTQIA neighbors in our community. We do that in a variety of different ways. We're going to educate our broader community on the issues of queer people in our population. We're also going to advocate on behalf of queer individuals. We're going to use our collective voice to speak on behalf of the queer population of Athens and make sure that every single Athenian feels that they have the power to speak up for themselves.
Yes.
And then finally, we try to make sure that we are celebrating LGBTQIA individuals in our community and the diversity that we have, because there is so much great about being queer in Athens, and we want to make sure that our population doesn't feel like they're not only living here, but this is their home, and that they truly feel celebrated and supported in our community.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Great work there reciting all of that. Tell me this. A lot of people that visit and that live here might not know a little bit of the history of our community in Athens. So tell us a little bit of the highlights. I know that history is a big thing for you. Y'all have been working on documenting some of this history. So what has LGBTQ history and rights movements in Athens looked like over the decades?
So LGBTQIA history has deeply been ingrained in Athens for a very long time. I would say the first time, there's always been queer people in Athens, as there's always been queer people in every single community all around the world. But I would say the first time that it really came to the limelight, that our community really stepped out of the shadows and really started to take up space,
visibility,
was following the Stonewall riots in 1969. There was a couple freshmen at the University of Georgia following the riots that said, we want to make sure that we're also taking up space. We deserve to have a space in Athens and feel like we belong. And so after many trials and tribulations, they founded, I believe it was the Committee on Gay Education. It's very something like that at the University of Georgia, and they decided to host the very first queer event, which was a big dance party that would be held at, I believe, Memorial Hall. Yes. And it came with a lot of backlash, a lot of hate, a lot of very scary figures that were speaking out against this. They even had to sue to be able to host this event. And about 2 hours before the event was supposed to occur in 1972, they got the clearance from the courts that they could host the event.
That's amazing.
And it was a huge success. I think 600 people, around 600 people were able to attend, and that includes multiple members from the B-52s.
Yes.
The B-52s have been part of our community all the way back to 1972, when it wasn't as, you weren't able to be as visible back then. Jump forward a couple decades, and now we are going to talk about Annette Hatton.
Oh, my dear friend, Annette. What an amazing human.
I know, what an amazing lady. But Annette, she lived as a cis straight woman for most of her life, and then kind of came to a realization that she was not living in her truth, that she was a queer woman, and came out and had a difficult time finding community with others. And so I think
she was an employee of the University of Georgia.
She was an employee of the University of Georgia. And so she founded or co-founded an organization called Globes, which was the gay, lesbian, and bisexual organization for school employees at the University of Georgia. Right. And I think a really great quote from her is, "I didn't have community. I was selfish, so I went out and I created it for myself," really making sure that she didn't have space, so she wanted to make space both for herself to interact with other queer people, but also make sure that other individuals in Athens could find that space. So the first time that we had a true, something akin to the Pride Parade was in 1998. I think this is where we can trace back Athens Pride and Queer Collective.
Right. Yeah.
And it was a queer picnic. It was a pride picnic at Lake Herrick. And it was a small gathering, more like a potluck, but it was a huge success. And every single year, it just continued to grow and grow and grow.
Yes.
Music was added, games were added, and then it just continued to just expand and expand. They moved around a couple times, and then 2015, we officially decided to transform into an incorporated nonprofit. And ever since then, we've been able to engage with our community year-round.
Yeah.
I think in the past 5 years, we've been able to achieve a lot of different things. For example, we held the first Pride Parade in downtown Athens.
Which is a funny story, because when I was in leadership of the organization, I kind of looked around and I said, well, we have everything but a parade. And if Atlanta can have a parade, certainly Athens can have a parade. And, we did it. And it's still going strong. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
And also, I think the first year that we had the event, we had the Pride Parade, it was very well attended. I think we had between 3 and 5, around 5,000 attendees, which for our first Pride Parade is just incredibly insane.
I'll never forget, we were downtown, and my friend Danielle, who went on to also be the president after me, were at the front of the parade holding the banner, and we had no idea what the crowd was going to look like. We round the first corner, and to see the sidewalks completely immersed in people. I mean, you could not see a spot that was empty. And I just remember us looking at each other and crying, because it was like, oh my gosh, we just had no idea. And it wasn't just our community members, right? It was also allies and people that were so supportive too. So it was a big moment. It was a big moment.
I was one of those people in that crowd.
Thanks for coming.
Absolutely. But not to continue on, but again, in the past 5 years, there's been so many amazing things we've done. Another thing that Cameron specifically really kind of spearheaded was getting those rainbow crosswalks placed in the heart of downtown. So whenever you're crossing right in the center, right outside of Chick-fil-A, in that square right there, you can feel like there is rainbow, there's color that is going to be surrounding you in the heart of downtown. We've also been able to donate over $50,000 through our gender affirming care grant. And then this year we helped in getting Athens being named as a safe haven for queer people for the United States. So there's just been such great things that we've been able to accomplish, both in the 1990s, but also all the way up to today. We just keep on pushing forwards and making sure that we are advocating for our community. And I can't wait to see what we do next.
I can't wait to watch. Tell me this. Tell us about some of the programming of Athens Pride and Queer Collective. You mentioned the parade festival. Tell us more about those events and maybe some of the others that you all are regularly engaging in.
Okay, sounds great.
Because y'all bring a lot of folks to town. We know that.
We do. Absolutely. I think that if you might not know this, but LGBTQ tourism is one of the very largest draws that Athens has in bringing in not foreigners, but people outside of our community to come into our community.
Yeah, I mean, I remember when we were first starting the festival parade, that we would have vendors even from like California that were driving across country. So it does bring in all kinds of folks. Yeah.
We had tons of people from Florida this year as well. People are traveling from all over. But specifically talking about our Pride Parade and our Pride Fest, originally they were two separate events. Where Pride Fest was more like a vendor day. We would have music, and it was kind of like hanging out in the field at the Terrapin Brewery, and just kind of getting together. Whereas the parade was your de facto parade. Lots of different organizations. For example, PFLAG would get a group together. Visit Athens. Thank you guys so much for hosting us. They've also been a participant multiple years in a row.
And we would actually we ended right here at the Classic Center.
We did, absolutely. But we got the chance this past year to combine the two events, to have both the parade that goes around the square at the bottom of downtown, and combine that with Pride Fest, with all of our vendors, with a gigantic music stage, and being able to combine those two. While we loved being hosted at Terrapin, it was a no-brainer to be able to do this, because by joining those two events, not only were we able to draw in larger crowds and really say that queer people are able to be celebrated in the heart of downtown, and we can take up space, and we're celebrated for taking up space. But on top of that, by having this larger crowd from the parade in conjunction with the Pride Fest, made sure that we were creating a stage, a platform for our musicians, for our vendors, for our artists coming from our community, but also surrounding communities, and making sure that we were really creating a platform for them to engage with our audience. So many of our musicians said that Pride Fest was the largest event that they've ever performed at. Many of our vendors said that it was the most successful event that they've ever had, where they sold the most merchandise. So I really think that Athens Pride and Queer Collective creating this stage for our community is just a really great way that we can give back to the artists in our community.
Tell us a little bit about how y'all go about finding the musicians and the makers and vendors that are going to be at Pride Fest.
I would say that what I gotta say is there are so many queer vendors, musicians in Athens that we all know. And many of these people are musicians that may not be like broadly known in the rest of our state, but if you're a queer person in Athens, you're going to know a lot of these things. Absolutely. And they're amazing individuals and great performers. And so by being part of this community,
diverse performances as well.
I would say, for example, we had a great belly dancing group at this last year. Lots of drag performers, just a little bit of everything. But I think because we are such a tight-knit community, it's really easy to get the word out, like just through mouth, by like word of mouth. But additionally, we're always going to make sure that we are doing a call, like an open call for performers, for musicians, and especially for vendors, to make sure that we do get the word out all the way to California. And again, I think that as this event has grown and grown, and as it continues to be promoted, it is something that's it's getting to the point where it's established, where we are getting reached out to currently from performers that are in Tennessee, that are from New York. And so at this point, I think people are coming to us, which is such an amazing thing to say.
That is a testament to the work, my friend, I would say. What about, with Pride Fest, the parade, there's a lot of traffic, as you mentioned, thousands upon thousands of people that pour into downtown specifically. How do you all go about connecting with those local businesses that are maybe on the parade route or will be impacted by those crowds And the second piece of that is, what feedback have you heard from businesses about that experience?
I would say we are trying to make sure that, again, this event is not only a positive experience for us, but that is a positive experience for every single stakeholder that's going to be in the area.
Right.
We're going to be going to each of the different restaurants that are in the area and let them know that this event will be going on. We also, this year, we included a lot of the local businesses by giving out like drink vouchers and everything like that, and letting our participants know that if you would like to purchase any alcoholic beverages, that you can buy a wristband and go and be a patron at all of the different businesses that are around our area. Specifically,
That's a great idea.
Cosmos Best was really amazing. Creature Comforts was really amazing. All the different businesses in the area. I also want to mention that this past year in 2024, our board members went to all the different businesses in downtown Athens and requested that they fly a Progress Pride flag throughout the month of June. And so many of the businesses flew the flag loudly and proudly throughout the entire month, which was so amazing. And when we did a call this year as well, many of them still had the flag, put it up, and it just really showed that when you're downtown, you can see a little bit of color and know that our businesses represent you. And that by being a patron of these businesses, that they are going to be supportive of our community and of our cause. So I think that by working with our local businesses, it's really created a great kind of like mutual relationship where they benefit us, we benefit them, and really just create a better situation for all of us.
Yeah, and you know, what a great thing when you have 5,000 people pouring into your business's area, and two, you're supportive of that community. So important. Elliot, what about some of your, well, before we go there, Elliot, what about some of the other initiatives, events that you all have going on that are driving visits to Athens? I know you all have a lot that you're working on.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to quickly touch on a couple. I think one that I want to start with is Operation Transformation. Operation Transformation is an event that we hold every single year. It's going to be a drag performance with other types of performances intermixed in there, musicians. We always invite artists to come as well, but we really primarily focus on bringing in trans performers because every single dollar that we raise at this event directly contributes to our Gender Affirming Care Grant.
Got it.
Through our Gender Affirming Care Grant, we are able to really collect the funds from our community through this event, through other types of events, and by raising significant amounts of money, we are able to donate back to individuals who are trans or gender nonconforming and are looking to receive gender affirming care, but do not quite have enough funds to be able to really receive that care. So we're able to really get people to the point where they need to be financially so that they can go ahead and get this truly life-changing healthcare. And so I think it's been really impactful. This past year, we were able to give out 5 scholarships. We're able to really,
that's amazing,
really just like allow 5 individuals to have their external selves reflect their authentic selves. Another event that we host every single year is our Pride Prom.
I love prom.
Last year, you could have seen me at Pink Pony Prom wearing a pink wig with my boyfriend. I saw Cameron there. It was such a fun event. But prom in general, Pride Prom, is really a way for us to come together and just like celebrate for no reason other to celebrate. And also, so many people in our community have such bad memories about high school, about prom. So this is kind of like a redo, allowing you to remake those memories with a community, with a family that might be a little bit more supportive while you're a little more comfortable in your body.
Yeah, I always tell people that it's a good event because it allows, me to go to prom as my authentic self, and speaking of Athens, I always say that Athens is my chosen family. This is the place where I came out as well. It is the place that I discovered who I was. It's where I met the love of my life, Kyle. Love you, babe. And, it really has been that for so many people. So anyway,
Absolutely. I also wanted to say, sorry, I got distracted for a second.
No, you're good.
But another thing that we do is we also offer lots of different support groups. So if you're a young queer person, if you're a trans individual, if you are a parent of a queer child that is looking for support, we partner with other organizations to host support groups that are more intimate, that are more smaller, where you can really have the more intimate discussions, the more like personal discussions about your identity, and really just feel the support of a smaller group. I also think that one thing that Athens Pride and Queer Collective does is that we're going to make sure that we're creating a platform for all the other different queer organizations in Athens.
I've always loved the collaboration that exists.
Absolutely. And there are so many in our community. For example, this past fall, we restarted, I think it's Outlaw Sports, started a new queer kickball league.
I saw that, yeah.
I know,
While
so
I'm not
fun.
a sports person, I will be there to cheer people on.
I'll be a cheerleader. Kickball is not my sport. A lot of other sports I would love to participate. Kickball, maybe not so much. But really, like Athens Pride and Queer Collective, we're just going to make sure that we are really broadcasting every single event that queer people could participate in. If it's our own, if it's another organizations, if it's a partnership between us, we're just going to make sure that we're going to be getting the word out. So we're a connector, we are a platform for others, and we're also a community that really offers support, and will make sure that if you need aid, if you need support, if you need a family, that we're going to help you create that for yourself.
You mentioned too this network of other organizations that you're working in. You mentioned Outlaw Sports, but tell us and visitors about some of the other organizations that exist here in Athens. I know one in particular is coming to mind, but I'll let you take it.
I would say that one of the other most infamous, most amazing queer organizations here in Athens would be Boy Butant.
Such an amazing group.
Such an amazing group. And every single year they host their Boy Ball, which I think is going to be held in April this year. But their mission is it is predominantly a drag event, but every single dollar that they raise from this event, and they raise a lot of money.
They raise a lot of money.
But all the money that they raise directly goes back into our community for those that are battling HIV and AIDS, making sure that they are creating, we're celebrating, and we're really holding up our community. But by doing this, we're able to generate money to help people in our community who need some support through that battling HIV and AIDS, which is really amazing. And it's also making sure that we are breaking that stigma. I would say some other organizations in Athens that I really enjoy.
Well, real quick on Boy Butant, I want to make sure people know this. The other big thing that they do is they have a fall and spring drag bingo.
I was there.
Which, if you do not get a ticket early, you are not going to get in because it is always completely sold out. So just wanted to make sure to plug that as a great two events for locals and visitors alike.
And they have some amazing gifts at bingo.
I won a staycation one year, at a local hotel. Yeah, just
this
got to
past
stay
week,
for a couple nights.
I think it was literally last weekend, but my friend and I went, and we just got one ticket apiece, and we won a $100 voucher to a massage, which was so amazing.
Oh, nice.
It was
Yeah,
really
they do a
great.
good job of curating.
They do
and
a really
connecting
great job.
The business.
And then also they're constantly doing drag bingos. The upcoming one is going to be at 5 and 10. Very excited to go. So Boy Butant's is so amazing. Then again, we do have lots of other organizations, queer organizations in Athens that are creating space for our community. There's a queer hikes group that is constantly taking our community out to be in nature. Nearly every single month. There's Queer Nights Athens, which also does an amazing job of just creating super fun events.
Social places,
yes,
too.
Social places. There's picnics that they have. There's kind of nights out at Authentic. There's also just simple coloring nights, which is really awesome. A new group that has spun off of them is a trans and gender nonconforming group. If you're a trans or gender nonconforming individual, this is an amazing group for you to get involved in. It's more of a social group, just really connecting you with other people and making sure that you're having fun and really engaging, creating friends with these places. Yeah. Most recently, they did a pottery night at Good Dirt, and they're going to be doing another one this spring. So they really have amazing events, and generally they are at low cost. I would say right. One final organization that I want to shout out would be Peach City Sapphics. They recently moved to Athens, but if you're a Sapphic individual that's looking for community, they are going to have tons of crazy fun events.
Awesome.
Most recently, we had a tarot event, but also they have tons of parties. Just another way for you to really engage it with other people that are akin to you.
Mm-hmm. It's like I say about Athens, I've said it before here, I'll say it again, there's something for everyone in the queer community mm-hmm. and the Athens community mm-hmm. at large. I absolutely love that. You talked about sports, you talked mm-hmm. about drag shows, the list goes on, hikes, who would have thunk it, right? So with that, Elliot, I'm curious, there are so many, as you mentioned, queer-friendly and queer-owned businesses in the Athens community. What are some of your go-to spots to engage with people that are like you or supportive of our community too?
Mm-hmm. There are so many. I would say if you're trying to check two off of the list, two amazing businesses that are in the heart of 5 Points would be Independent Baking Company and Ghost Apothecary.
Oh, yeah. I could spend hours in mm-hmm. Ghost. I won't spend hours in Independent because I would eat everything, but mm-hmm. it's so good.
And Independent Baking Company, which is one of our sponsors, mm-hmm. but they are a locally owned independent baking company.
Quite literal, I love it.
But their food is amazing. Mm-hmm. If you want to get croissant there, if you want to get challah there,
they have coffee too. It's
but
really
they make food fresh and early at like 4 o'clock in the morning. So if you get every single day, once you get there, they have the most amazing food. And also if you're patronizing so many restaurants in Athens, mm-hmm. patroning many restaurants in Athens, if you see that they have sourced some of their bread, some of their ciabatta from Independent Baking Company, honestly, it makes me so excited.
You know it's going to be good,
mm-hmm.
too.
Ghost Apothecary moved into the old space, the Avid Bookshop, mm-hmm. which is another amazing queer-friendly organization.
Sure.
But Ghost Apothecary does have a wide variety of books that they're selling. They have tarot cards, tarot decks that they're selling. They have tons of little knickknacks.
Bath supplies, candles,
they have everything.
Much stuff.
And the two owners, it's Dave and Robbie, mm-hmm. they have the best taste.
They do.
So
shout out to my friends Dave
mm-hmm.
and Robbie, but
mm-hmm.
also let's make sure to shout out Kevin and
absolutely.
for being so
mm-hmm.
amazing.
And then some other organizations that other businesses that I really think that you should check out. Church Bar is always amazing. If you're looking for a night out, they're constantly having drag nights.
Make sure to pay attention to the art on the walls. We won't
mm-hmm.
go into that here, but
mm-hmm.
make sure to look when you're there.
It's a trip.
Out of this world, yeah.
mm-hmm. Great for photos. There's just so many. There are also, I would say, nearly every space in Athens, even if it is not owned by a queer person, it is going to be accepting of queer individuals, mm-hmm. and you're going to feel like you're not out of place, that this is also a home for you. For example, Dukes and Dottie's is one of my favorite places to go.
Yeah. And that's line dancing, right?
Yeah, it's line dancing. Very country. They're constantly playing like the Chicks music,
mm-hmm.
but it is such an accepting community. So many of my friends are going there. So many people that are part of our community go and like just have a great night out there, and that is general for every single business.
It's really common of the Athens experience.
It is.
I can say there are very few times and spaces that I have not felt that way.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I think that's one of the benefits of Athens, even if it's not a space that is owned by a queer individual. It is going to be a space that accepts queer individuals, and doesn't just accept them, but like you're going to be part of their community as well.
Mm-hmm. We've talked about the nonprofit partners and organizations mm-hmm. that you all work with and uplift. We've talked about the business community mm-hmm. and all of their support. So many sponsors coming from the business community for the org. But also, I wanted to bring up the public sector and the local government as
mm-hmm. well,
being such a champion. Can you speak to that a little bit?
Absolutely. So I want to shout out Kelly Gertz. He is an amazing mayor, such a sweet guy. You'll always see him walking around downtown.
Yep. It's not many towns you can walk in and just see the mayor just sitting there.
And he'll just chit chat with you. Genuinely, what an incredible guy. But he and the rest of the Athens government have really made sure that they're taking care of not only the LGBTQIA population, but all different special interest groups, all different diverse groups. Also make sure that they feel like their voice is being heard and that they're represented in our government. But specifically talking about queer individuals in Athens, only in the past 5 years, they've really made sure that not only, like, we already have a culture that's super accepting of queer individuals.
We create that.
We create
as
that.
individuals,
But our government backs us up. For example, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, we had the very first raising of the Progress Pride flag on June 1st. I think it was 2023?
Yep.
2023.
Around there,
And we had a flag raising ceremony, and for the entire month, the Progress Pride flag flew over City Hall. Additionally, the government helped us institute the rainbow crosswalks. And then third, most recently, I think I might have said this earlier, but we were named a safe haven for queer people in the state of Georgia and abroad. So by having our government really kind of like put their money where their mouth is, put like the action, like really take action to protect us, even though we do have such an amazing community, it's just such a great way to feel heard, feel like loved, and just really know that the businesses, the community, but also the government is really going to make sure that we feel safe and that we are part of this community.
Absolutely. What a welcoming place we find ourselves in. And what's so fascinating about the crosswalks that a lot of people might not realize is while that was going on, they were actually used as a public conversation starter for our non-discrimination ordinance that now exists, which makes sure that locals and all of you who visit Athens, regardless of who you are and who you love and where you come from, that you are not discriminated against, of course, and that you are welcomed here. I love that about our town. Elliot, as we think about the LGBTQ community and the scene, if you will. Let's say that you kind of mentioned some of the spots already, but let's take it a little bit deeper and maybe mention some other folks. I am arriving for the first time to Athens, Georgia. Where should I go? What should I do? Average day.
Average day? Okay, so there is so much to do in Athens. If you want me to give you a day itinerary, I'll give you a day itinerary. If you want to give me a week itinerary, I'll give you a week itinerary. If you want me to give you a month, I'll give you a month.
And a month's not long enough to see everything.
But what I would do is when you get to Athens, I would head straight to 5 Points. I already talked about checking out Independent Baking Company, get some food there, walk around, see the other businesses, go to Condor Chocolates, get some chocolates
very
there.
Good spot. Yeah.
Absolutely. And then I would walk down Millage Avenue. We have all of our different sorority houses and fraternity houses. It's a historic district.
Which is a great architecture moment.
Yes.
Just to see all
very
of that.
Historic. And so even if I wasn't in a fraternity or sorority, but they're really pretty houses.
They are.
So from there, what I would do is I would probably, if you're ready for lunch, I would head to Calientitos. It's also right down the road from there, and get some Peruvian Cuban fusion food. I would say that it has got to be one of my 3 favorite restaurants in all of Athens. If you are coming and visiting, you have to go to Calientitos. I would walk downtown, check out all the different shops, go shopping a little bit, check out Kempt, check out
good store.
Check out Wuxtree. Wuxtree has been here for ages.
Record store.
It's a record store, and upstairs they have a comic store, and they are kind of like sister businesses.
Oh, fun.
I know.
I don't even think I realized that.
I'm pretty sure.
Something
I might be
day.
crazy. I'm pretty sure they're sister businesses.
No,
I know that
I've seen that entrance. Yeah.
And so from there, I think that if you're getting a little tired, there's so many places where you can stay. But honestly, if you're ready to keep on pushing past, my favorite thing to do would be head out to Sandy Creek Park and go on a walk. Yes. They have this really beautiful lake. During the summer, you can go swimming. There's playgrounds, and also they're constantly doing events. One of the ones that I love to go to is a hot air balloon festival.
Yes, it's so fun.
I know. You can ride a hot air balloon, and it's like 10 minutes away from downtown. It's so cool. And then if you're looking for something during the night, honestly, what I would do is I would go on to either visit Athens' calendar or one of the many other organizations that have calendars in Athens. But again,
visit athensga.com is where you can find that calendar.
But there is just so many different events that are occurring every single day that are going to pique your interest. There's going to be concerts at the Georgia Theater or at the Coliseum here. There's going to be educational talks. There's going to be even a knitting group that might just pop up, and you might be like, hey, let me go check this out, meet some people in Athens, and really get integrated a little bit. And then I would say after you go to maybe a concert at the Georgia Theater, if you're ready to go for a night out, you can go get a crepe at Polly's, and then end your night at a drag show at Church Bar.
Yep.
Really, every single night's going to be different. You can fill your days with tons of different things, and if you're there for a week and you want to really push yourself, you can go to 5 different businesses that you've ever been to every single day, and all 5 of them are going to be a 10 out of 10.
I love it. I love it. You're so right. Well, as we wind down this interview, Elliot, I'm curious. You know, you're the first executive director of this organization. Being the first is always a little pressure, I know.
Absolutely.
But as the organization has grown so much and has been so immersed in the Athens culture and is really driving so much tourism, what is your hope for maybe the next few years, you know, as it relates to the organization?
I think because our organization is representing all of Athens and all of the surrounding areas, we're going to make sure that Athens, even though we're Athens Pride and Queer Collective, we're going to be taking care of Oconee County, of Jackson County. We want to make sure that we are representing all the different groups in Athens as well as the surrounding areas. So my hope is that we really intentionally create spaces for different groups that might be queer, but they might have other intersectionalities that maybe they need a little more support from us or different support, whether that be our older population, our elderly population, or our rural population. We want to make sure that we are creating different, more curated spaces for these individuals so that they feel like they are truly represented by us. I also want to make sure that one of our biggest visions is to create like a social space, like a social home for queer people. So making sure that there is a location in Athens that is really home to queer people, where if you are looking for support, you can come to us and we will be there on a daily basis to really take care of you. I think that those are 2 of my grandest visions. I think a third that I really want to focus on is our gender affirming care grant is such an amazing thing that we offer, and I want to make sure that we are expanding it as much as possible so that not only are we able to provide the service to people in Athens and the surrounding area, but that all Georgians know of this service that we're providing, and that we are able to provide it to as many people as possible. We want to make sure that if you need gender affirming care, if it's something that you're struggling with, that hopefully in time, no matter who you are, that we are going to be able to help you receive that care. So that's one of the smaller things that we're already working on.
Yes.
And I think that in time, we're going to be able to grow this amazing grant to something absolutely incredible.
Well, you know, and as those grants go out, I'm sure they should say "From Athens with Pride," as your shirt says.
Check out the shirt.
Where can people connect and learn more?
Okay, so what I would do first is I would go onto our Instagram. Our Instagram is Athens Pride and Queer Collective. I'm not going to spell it out. It might take a little long. It's a long name, but once you go there, you can see all the different events that we have coming up. We're also broadcasting other events that might be held by Peach City Sapphics. And then if you click on our link tree, it'll take you to all the different initiatives that we've got going on. If you're looking to apply to the Gender Affirming Care Grant, that's one place that you can find that information. You can also go to athenspride.com. That is our website, and there you can find all the different information about us, the events that we've got going on, a little bit more about ourselves, a little bit more about our story. But there's so many ways you can connect with us. I would say one other way that you can come and show up and meet with us at Athens Pride and Queer Collective is by coming to our events, specifically Pride Fest and Pride Parade. It's always held in June, and it's just like a great way for you to meet not only us, but so many of the different amazing artists, musicians in our community.
Yes, well, I'm so excited about the parade this year and the festival. I know it's going to be great. I wish you continued success and luck as you continue on this journey. And thank all of you for joining us right here on Athens Off the Record. Of course, you can always learn more about these events and more at visitathensga.com. I'm your host, Cameron J. Take care, and we'll see you right back here in Athens.